recorded, so you can watch it as you go. So today we will be discussing the becoming a supplier to the airport concessionaire. As mentioned earlier, we do have a real successful journey to share with you, learn from the actual business owner, entrepreneur herself. Again, I am Supplier May. I am from PACE Business Development Center. Before we get started, again, just so you know, this is a collaboration with our guest speaker. Such a delight to join forces with April from
Thank you.
the president and CEO of Skyview Concession Inc. She has over 25-year experience in airport retail certification process. Her insight has been so impactful. She's been helping a lot of local small business to get through this. If you want to learn more about all this airport, this is the series for you. You want to learn more about business in general, please, PACE is here to support you as well. Before we turn over to April, I know that we have another poll that we want to learn from you. Let me know. I'm going to launch the poll. Will help us and all of us. It would be very helpful for us to know where you are and how we can. Oh, did I not send that? Okay. Sorry. Do you see the poll, April?
No, not yet.
Okay, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, the poll is coming.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Right.
Here's the poll. Please take your time. I know there's a lot of wording to read, but it's very helpful for all of us and our guest speaker to understand where we are and where we want to go from here. Please take your time. Okay. You get some vendor.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay. Nice. Well, we have quite a few vendor.
Great. Great, 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 great. Super excited about today.
Okay.
Yeah.
You keep it coming.
Good.
You could just check it. Okay, retail. We don't have retail yet. That's okay.
Yeah.
I do like your background, by the way.
Well, you can see it. You can see it. Okay. Yeah, that's
That's the goal, right?
yeah, that's one of our stores. That one actually is in San Francisco in the Joe Malone store. It's a lot of fun. It's a beautiful, beautiful location. Beautiful location.
Right, we are still boarding. That's okay. That's okay. If you're in a very early stage to get to learn more about, any type of contract, government, procurement, certification, all of
Yeah.
this word acronym, don't be discouraged by all this acronym.
Yeah.
There are so many of them, and that's
Yeah.
why we're here to help you navigate all of this like multi-layer step. But to stay focused, we really want to make sure everyone have a fair share of opportunity to get into the game. So the certification and the path to learn more about all this vetting is very essential, and we want to make sure that we share this opportunity with you. Okay, it's been 2 minutes. Okay, I think we have a good number. What do you think, Apple?
Yeah, I can't see the
Let me end the
how
poll.
many yeah, you can go ahead and end. And for those that are, still onboarding and just getting to know, I applaud you for being here and taking in this information. Knowledge is power. So congratulations for being here. You never know, you might catch an idea that might be your $1 million idea. So congratulations for being here. So yeah, I see a lot of vendors, good, and food and beverage operators. Oh, perfect. This is perfect, actually. Very, very good. Great
What we wanted to
turnout. Service providers.
Nice.
And others that are still boarding. Fantastic. Well, you're in the right place. I can tell you that today. This is fantastic. Super excited about what we're going to be presenting today.
Very nice. All right. Well, thank you so much for your participation. Really appreciate it. It will be very helpful for us to learn more where we want to do. Because in the next few sessions, I think April have a few updated to share with us as well. So we may have a little bit of pivoting into the next content, but it will still be good, on point. So without further ado, I will turn over to April so she can bring on our next speaker. Thanks so much, April.
Yeah, thank you, Soprani. And I'm just so excited. I wanted to advance the the slide just in advance of bringing Dana up, but wanted to thank you, Soprani and Pace, for this wonderful opportunity to be able to speak before your audience. I have thoroughly enjoyed this series. We're now in part 3 of the 5 series. And this one I am super, super excited about. My name is April Stewart. I am a first-generation entrepreneur and founder of Skyview Concessions. I own and operate retail stores at airports. Here at LAX, you would recognize us at Terminal 1 in the Southwest Terminal. We own and operate CPK, California Pizza Kitchen, Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, Riley's Bar, and Earth Cafe. And then in Terminal 2, the Delta Terminal, we have all of the retail in the Delta Terminal, including the travel essential stores that fly under Univision and CNBC. And then also we have Spanx. I am so excited today because we're talking about how to become a vendor for a concessionaire. And this just takes me back to my days when I was an assistant buyer working for DFS. It was probably one of my best positions that I've had in my career, and I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed it. Working for DFS meant it was international, so I was in the fragrance department, and we worked with Cartier, Paris. We worked with Yves Saint Laurent, Hermes, Christian Dior, all the big brands. And my role as the assistant buyer was to once the buyer selected the product, was to make sure the product was distributed to the stores, the right stores, according to the store profile, and then also to assist our customs team if any of the product got stuck in customs in the duty-free zone. So it was really exciting. I loved providing trainings and merchandising the store. So it was always fun to see new product that was coming in, and then the installations that the visual team would set up to launch a fragrance as an example. And oftentimes in the duty-free, we would receive the product ahead of the domestic market. So it was always fun to kind of be an early adapter on new products that were coming in. So I want to talk to you about the airport ecosystem and becoming a vendor to airport concessionaires. That's going to be our premise today. And I couldn't think of a better person who could talk about her journey in being able to be successful and bringing her from idea to actual delivery. I don't want to steal her thunder. I want her to talk about it. So the name of her company is Bon Voyage Products. So if that might give you some clue as to what her product could be. And super excited for Dana Russo, the founder of Bon Voyage, to come and talk with us and tell us about her journey. And I think it's just such a great treat to have her to speak before you all today, and so that you all might be inspired to hear what is possible. So Dana, please take it away.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I see you.
Okay,
Great.
hi everybody, because I can't see myself, so I don't know what you guys are seeing. Anyway, my name is Dana Russo. I am a graphic designer by trade, and I had this idea 3 years ago to do pet products at the airport, because our pet toys actually to begin with. And the reason being is that so many people are traveling with their pets now, and in the past, I've tried to find things for our dog, but I could never find them. So that was what started the seed. But what really started it was 3 years ago. Unfortunately, a friend of mine who I went to college with, a great friend, passed away from cancer, and her dying wish was to have her ashes scattered in Paris. That was her favorite city. So we went there for her memorial. We decided to go to some other cities, Amsterdam, Belgium, Bruges, just as, while we were there, and we were looking for some pet toys for our dog and couldn't find anything. We went to pet stores in France, in Amsterdam. I mean, we just couldn't find anything. So then that was a catalyst. I thought, you know what, I'm going to just go for it and really do this, because I had been thinking about it prior to that, but nothing had materialized. So I started with the logo literally 3 years ago this week. I started with the first logo, then kept refining it until I got what I wanted. Then I found Arizona State University that did pro bono for doing trademark and copyright. So I was able to secure them to do the trademark for the logo. Then I had to come up with a design. So I came up with the designs for the toys, if you can see them back here. And I wanted to do iconic destination themed toys. And I thought it would be really fun for people that are traveling to California or even in California that want to buy a souvenir gift for either their pet or someone else's pet. So that was the idea behind it. And so I started with samples. Luckily, I have a client who has a manufacturing company. Her sewer was able to make samples for me so I could show them to people. And then from there, I have another friend who luckily had some contacts in China, because even though everybody wants to manufacture here, the price of the toys to manufacture here was going to be double what I could pay for there. So I had no choice but to go to China. My first iteration of toys were for a company up in pet store up in Carmel. Can you see them? Because I can't see myself, so I don't know what I can.
Yes, we can see. Yes.
I don't know why I'm not
Yeah.
popping up. And it was a great, it was one store up in Carmel. She wanted an exclusive, rights to Carmel by the Sea. So I did those. The samples came out excellent, but unfortunately, when they shipped them, they weren't less than what she had expected. She's still selling them, but the quality wasn't as good. We didn't do quality control because I didn't know that we should do it. And so that was mistake number one I learned. Since then, I found another company that has manufactured all of these toys here, and the quality is excellent. The woman I'm working with is excellent. It's been a great experience. I received my first shipment. As you can see, there are some boxes back here last week. And so it has been a journey of 3 years of getting it from an idea to an actual product. But in between, how I got to that part was I was on a webinar for JFK. I met a man named Michael Washington, who April knows really well. They're both part of AMAC. Great guy. He introduced me to a woman named Michelle Miller, who works for URW, Unibel Damco. She's a leasing agent. She liked the toys, but she said, I'm not the right person for you, but let me introduce you to April Stewart. She introduced me to April. April says, I'm going to show this to Paradies and see what they say. It took 3 months to get a meeting with them, but I finally got a meeting. Maureen, who is their regional manager, loved the idea. But then I had to talk to the buyer. So that was the next step. And that took another 3 months. So finally, when I was able to have a meeting, she's in Atlanta, so I haven't seen her personally, but I had a Zoom call with her. She loved the idea, but that was in February. We're now October. So that tells you how long things take. But on that meeting, she said, I'd really like to do a whole section, not just dog toys, but something else. Maybe, I said, well, what about treats? She goes, no, I don't want to do anything food related with pets. I don't think that's a good way to go. And I said, well, how about like maybe some bandanas and collar charms? She says, well, that sounds like a cute idea, but I don't want to have 3 different vendors. I said, well, then let me think about it. So since then, I've come up with bandanas. So they're 2-sided, as you can see.
That's great.
And one more. I just did 3 of them. And then I did the collar charms, which are going to be packaged like this. And then, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
And then one more.
Yeah.
So now she's excited because she doesn't have to go with 3 different vendors. I've already got, like, the collar charms are coming this week. The bandanas are still, I had to make a revision on them, so they'll probably be here the beginning of November. But that is the process I've gone through for the last 3 years. And if I can say one thing or a few things, persistence and patience. And I don't have a lot of patience, so I had to learn to have patience, treat people with respect, have gratitude, always say thank you. And I think, and people along the way from start to finish have been so kind to help me to get to this point. And I really appreciate everybody along the way. And that's all I can say is that, that's the way to approach it. And don't get discouraged. I know people, and trust me, I went to New York for the JFK. They have Terminal 1 and Terminal 5. I think they're renovating. I flew there on my own expense twice, and I didn't get anything from that, so you just never know, it could, sometimes it's great, sometimes not. And maybe in the future I will get something, but right now, nothing. But anyway, that's my story.
Thank you. Thank you, Dana. I'm just so happy for you, and I'm really looking forward to seeing your toys, your products in our locations at LAX very soon, and just hoping that it will do so well that it'll be expanded and go even beyond LAX, and then state of California, and then maybe even nationwide. So that's what I really would love to see happen. I'd love to see that happen. Yeah, yeah,
We're hoping for that.
Yes, that's what we want to go forward. And you mentioned something. You said something about I think your learnings with what was the first location? The seal.
Oh, Carmel by the Sea.
Carmel by the Sea, yes. So, the thing about that is I appreciate that, because when you have a learning and you get to learn it early on, then it is not as costly as learning something mid-career or mid-journey, right? So you learned it early on on your journey. And same with me, I've learned something very early on in my journey. And I thank God for that. In my view, I saw it as a failure, but to me, failure is first attempt in learning. So I learned early on, and then from there was able to grow from there. So I just applaud you for what you've been doing and your perseverance. And thank you for sharing your story. Just super exciting. And I think it's going to inspire quite a few people. So
I hope so.
Yeah.
Again, don't give up.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank you. I
Dana.
appreciate it. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Dana. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. So we're going to go on to our agenda. I just, on a high from what Dana shared with us, I'm just so appreciative of her time today, and just sharing, being completely transparent about her story. But yes, going on. So we'll talk about understanding the airport vendor ecosystem, which Dana kind of described today. Okay, it's wanting to freeze. There we go. Okay, what concessionaires are buying and how to align on your offerings. Buying and onboarding, Dana mentioned part of this, pricing and compliance requirements. Challenges for new vendors. Challenges for prime concessionaires. Staying ready, and then next steps. And then, of course, Q&A at the end. What is a vendor to a concessionaire? I've gotten this question quite a bit. So vendors are the ones that supply goods and services that support day-to-day operations for retail and food and beverage locations inside the airports. So a lot of customers, as they are going through the airport, they don't think about, hey, how did that product get here? Or who thought of that? Or they think it's multiple locations or multiple vendors or multiple brands, and they're really at the airport, in the airport ecosphere, there are really only a handful of prime concessionaires, either on the retail side or the food and beverage side. So you, as a vendor, really have a key role in helping the concessionaires to be successful. Again, some of the ideas that are products that are carried, it could be vendors for packaging, uniforms. I opened a store and I needed uniforms and shoes, signage, specialty foods, janitorial supplies, register, POS systems, maintenance, and even decor. And then vendors can be certified ACDBE, small business and local business, or specialty service providers. It's not always necessary to be certified as an LBE or ACDBE, but as we discussed earlier, having that certification really becomes a marketing tool for you, and it really adds credibility to your company saying, I've gone through these steps, I've gone through these paces. And if you become a vendor to a supplier, then, or sorry, if you become a vendor to a concessionaire, then oftentimes as a certified vendor, the concessionaires can receive extra points or credits for working with local small businesses and vendors. And then, as I just mentioned, vendors may work directly with prime concessionaires. And remember the joint venture partners. I'm a joint venture partner to Parities, and I was fortunate to meet Dana and then introduce Dana to Parities, and now will soon be on our shelves. So we're really looking forward to that. Now I want to talk about the airport ecosystem, airport concessions ecosystem. I'll just go ahead and get started. There is the airport. And so multiple airports across the United States, large and small. So don't dismiss the small airports. They really focus in on local product. So it's always super glamorous to be in the large airports, but some of the smaller ones have wonderful opportunities as well, especially for locals. So the airports have landlords, and the landlords go through what is called a procurement system. So if you are a vendor and you're on ramp, then the airport will set up an RFP or an RFQ, a request for proposal, or request for qualifications, as they are searching for products and goods. And through ramp, you will then be able to respond with your product and your qualifications. At LAX, as an example, there are 77 million passengers. So imagine your product being viewed by even half of those passengers, a quarter of those passengers. So the traffic at the airport is expansive, right? It is super, super expansive. So that's a big plus if you've got, as an example, a street side business or store or restaurant, and then you end up being a concessionaire or being a supplier of your product or your brand to a concessionaire, and then you are placed in a store at the airport, you are being seen by millions of passengers, which should flow to your location on the street side. So another plus for wanting to do business at the airport. So at the airport, there are stores and restaurants. Now, this bicycle is different than the airport. The airport has a procurement bicycle or procurement cycle. Stores and restaurants have a buy cycle. Dana mentioned she worked with the buyer and having to take time to get that meeting with the buyer. I think I mentioned I was the assistant buyer in fragrance. So the stores and restaurants have a different type of buying system that they use, which I actually really like it, actually. So some of the stores and restaurants you find at airports are travel essential stores. These are the stores where you get your water, your magazines, the t-shirts, and the souvenirs. There are specialty locations. As an example, I had a Vera Bradley location that is considered a specialty because it does not have any gift and news items in the location. So specialty. There are grab and go locations where our customers, those that are traveling, just want to pick up some snacks. And so you'll see those throughout the airport. And then, of course, there's the sit-down dining restaurants such as CPK, Kava, These are restaurants that are at the airport. So all of these concessionaires that are under the stores and restaurants area in this category, they have opportunities for your product and maybe your brand or your lotion or your soap or your chips. There's oftentimes a demand for local. In fact, in one of our locations, we serve French fries, and there was a demand for, is it Tapatio? I think it is. And so that is something that is a local flavor that was high in demand, and we added it to our menu. And then design. A lot of times the concessionaires want to reflect the local area. And in fact, at LAX Terminal 1, where we have our CPK, and I'm a joint venture partner there, that terminal was designed to reflect California businesses. So in this case, CPK is local, but it's also a national brand. Riley's is in Hollywood. Earth Cafe, one of everyone's favorites, is local here. So sometimes the airport will set a design space or criteria for there to be a local presence throughout the terminal. Sometimes it is a design for a feature section in one of the stores, maybe a local mural. So, and I just saw one actually at LAX celebrating Latin Heritage Month. So I know that that was designed by a local artisan. And then now this is where we're talking today about vendors and service providers as being part of the airport concessions ecosystem. So gift and sundries. So oftentimes you'll see the t-shirts, you'll see souvenirs, you'll see a lot of the concessionaires will have a local display of product that comes from local vendors. They want to give the customers an experience of having been to, let's say, Los Angeles, having been to Atlanta, having been to San Francisco. So they want to bring that local feel into their store locations. And this is where you have an opportunity. So your brand, you may have a certain brand of hats, caps, or water, or t-shirts. And if you work with the concessions team, they will support that brand and bring you in as one of their vendors. Sometimes it's a national brand that they're looking for. So they have to find the blend between, or the mix between national branded product and then local branded products. So Dana, as an example, would fall under the branded and local, and also under gift and sundry. So she's got multiple categories that she is able to fulfill. Snacks, I think I mentioned the Tapatio, the snacks and things like that. So I know I have one location in San Francisco, and it's a grab and go, and it's filled with all local food purveyors. So we managed to go out into the area and look at some of the best and brightest, most popular, even food truck companies, and invite them into the airport. We have a Vietnamese coffee that has come into the airport. It's done so well now. They are in San Francisco. We've expanded them now to San Jose, and they are also now going to Whole Foods and Sprouts. So they're growing. National and local. So that really has to do with restaurants. You'll see, as I mentioned, CPK fulfills both. It's a national restaurant and a local restaurant. Homeboy, and I think it's in Terminal 4, that it would be a local restaurant. So lots of opportunities to become a vendor in the airport concessions ecosystem. Today, we're focusing on how to become a vendor or a service provider in the ecosystem. So you can see there are various avenues for you to take. Okay. Oh, local artisans. I love this, actually. So there are some vendors, and I think I mentioned the mural that I saw just recently at Terminal 2, or the walkway between Terminal 2 and Terminal 1. So concessionaires like to provide a space for local artisans, and it's really favorable, or looked upon as very favorable by the airports, or those that are making decisions as to who will win a space at the airport. So let's now talk about what concessionaires are buying. I cannot mention this enough, but we're looking for a unique local product. Dana was a perfect example of that. She's got this unique product that's made she's representing a local product. She's not only because it represents California, but she's based here in Southern California, so that makes her a local. Even though she is going to China to have them manufactured, because she's based here, it's going to be considered local, a local product. Concessionaires are buying profitable margins. They're looking for profitable margins. So oftentimes we hear about pricing at the airport. Please understand that airport pricing really is not about overcharging, but it's about sustaining a service in a secure and high cost environment. So there's payroll. The pay at the airport is significantly higher than the hourly pay at the airport is significantly higher than the living wage outside of the airport. So airport and hotels, there's a different living wage. So that factors into what erodes margins. The cost of bringing the product into the airport erodes margins. So airport concessionaires, what they're looking for are products that are going to deliver a good and healthy margin. Consistency of product. The concessionaires want to know that your product is going to be consistent. From what you show on day one, is it the same quality, look, and feel of what was shown now day 365? So a year later, is the product consistent? Scalability. Concessionaires want to know that you're willing to invest the funds to be able to scale if your product takes off. Dana mentioned that she had to invest, and she bought a large amount, a quantity from China to scale her business, and she's ready now. So when success happens, and it already has actually, but when it continues to happen for her, then she'll be in a position to scale up. As we spoke about, perhaps she will go from Southern California to Greater California and then throughout the nation. Are you scalable? Are you scale ready? Compliant packaging. So at the airport, customers don't really want to carry bulky or large items. They want to have, sometimes it's travel size product. You want to make sure that it's going to fit within the shelves of the airport. The airport space is so valuable. One of our key metrics is sales per square footage. So if you've got large items, your turn is not going to be as great as the smaller items that are going to produce more. So by volume or by velocity. So you want to make sure also that your packaging has all the labels, the food prep labels, the nutrient labels. You want to ensure that there's safety also tied into the packaging. As I mentioned in San Francisco, we took a food truck vendor, and we had to help them repackage their product so that it was airport ready and airport compliant. Brand standards. Does your brand represent or align with the prime concessionaire? And what is the presentation standards? Are you able to provide training so that the team will know how to present your brand? And is it folded t-shirts? Is it a pyramid in terms of how it's merchandised? So brand standards are very important, and that your product can align with the brand standards that the concessionaire has. And does your product meet a need or a desire? So oftentimes we come to the airport, we don't need that particular item, especially in my high-end luxury stores. We might not need that Yves Saint Laurent bag, but it does create a desire. We might not need that Hermes $26,000 handbag, but there's a desire for it. We also have $2,400 liquor. It's Camus in a Camus liquor in a Baccarat crystal decanter. And there's no need for it, but it does fulfill a desire for our very high-end customers. Okay, next. Now let's talk about key aspects of local branding. So the prime companies really do look to seek to collaborate with local entrepreneurs. They want to demonstrate to the airport and to their traveling customers that they're not just cookie cutter stores, but they want to have a flavor or a feel of the local community. So the prime companies really are seeking to demonstrate how they are partners with the community and are able to bring in a part of that into their stores. Culturally inspired designs. Each airport will have a different, Arizona as an example, they're going to have different products in their stores than, let's say, Los Angeles or let's say Baltimore. So each location will be looking for culturally inspired designs for their stores. And I would say restaurants as well. The primes are looking to showcase local products and flavors. I've mentioned this before. Any opportunity that they have that the customers can have a chance to experience a bit of the city that they've visited. It could be that that traveler has come in for just a few days and they didn't get a chance to visit Hollywood. And so now they need to take back some products to say that, hey, I've been to LA, but they didn't get a chance to get to Hollywood Boulevard. Well, now what do you see in the stores? You see, what is it? The Emmys, the awards and things like that, that kind of showcase Hollywood Boulevard. The clapboards that show, TV time and things like that. So they really are looking to show a part of the city at the airport. Blending of national and local brands, again, looking to make sure that there is a perfect blend at the airport of national brands and local brands. We have Chick-fil-A, we have CPK, which fulfills local and national. In some airports, there's McDonald's. Here in LA, there's Homeboy, which would be a local. We have Native, which is a local brand. So they're looking to blend national and local brands in their stores and also in the restaurants. And looking to amplify local voices. So critical and very important to amplify local voices, again, to show that the stores or the prime companies really are in partnership with the community and wanting to showcase and amplify local voices and give opportunities to those that might not otherwise have an opportunity. Okay. How are we coming for time here? Oh, okay. Buying and onboarding. Oh, went backwards. Okay. Understand pricing and the cost restraints. We're going to talk a little bit more about pricing. We could do a whole seminar on pricing. So I'm just going to be able to give you top line, but we will talk a little bit more about pricing. Logistics, the airport payroll, which I've mentioned, and how products are shipped to the airport. How are you going to deliver your product? Are you going to have it trucked? Are you going to send it by FedEx? All of that goes into logistics and also with pricing as well. How the buying occurs. Is it locally, where does the buyer sit? Does she sit locally? There are some companies where the buyers are here in Los Angeles, and then there are big national companies perhaps that the buying occurs first regionally and then it goes nationally. I think in Dana's case, she met with the regional person here. The regional person gave the nod, and then she was introduced to the buyer who sits in Atlanta for now giving Dana a purchase order. You want to make sure as a vendor that you are compliant, you have insurance, you have your liability insurance, you have all certifications, including safety measures and things like that. So you want to make sure that you are in compliance so that you are ready to go and be onboarded as a new vendor. Okay, pricing. Tips. Compare street pricing with airport menus online. So how does CPK rate at the airport? What are their prices at the airport? And what are their prices on the street? Is there a vast difference? Typically there is, because doing business at the airport is very costly. And so again, it's not about overcharging, but it's really about providing a service in a high, secure, and dynamic environment. So there may be a premium while you are shopping or having dinner at the airport, because there's a cost to being and bringing your business to the airport. So when next time you're there, take a look at the menus and compare it and see what the difference might be. That might help you in making a decision about the price that your wholesale cost that you are going to charge the concessionaire. They want a margin, so remember that. Visit local airport stores and observe pricing and packaging. I've spoken about packaging. You may need to scale back. If you've got a large 12-ounce bottle of lotion, you might want to look at making it a 6-ounce bottle and generating margin with that, with a smaller bottle, also providing margin and a good price point. There are seasonal fluctuations in passenger volume at the airport, so you'll need to prepare for that. Our Christmas, we used to say, is in August. That's when it's heavy travel time. And again, Thanksgiving is a heavy travel time. So we're not like the traditional domestic mall stores. So there are fluctuations that your inventory is going to need to align with the fluctuations of the passenger volume. Again, you'll need to factor in delivery costs and the time that it takes to get to the end destination, takes to get to LAX. How are you going to get it there? Benchmark competitors who are already supplying the airports. Look at whether the t-shirts, look at the water bottles, look at soap, look at lotion. What are their prices? You might not know their margins, but what are their prices? And does your product align with those prices? Okay. Some of the challenges for new vendors. This is a big one, payment terms. The prime concessionaires, especially the larger ones, they may insist on net 30 or even net 60. Can you manage that? Can you float it for the next 30 or 60 days if that is a requirement? Something that you strongly need to consider. Again, your cash flow management. Are you able to manage that gap? Can you maintain consistency for your inventory? Do you have enough capital to invest in the inventory so that if your product spikes, that no problem, you've got it and you can deliver it the next day to the airport? The airport is a dynamic and complex environment. So there are lots of ebbs and flows. There are lots of dynamics. The airlines move from one terminal to the other terminal. Your legacy carriers such as Delta and American shop differently than Frontier and Southwest passengers. So you would need to keep that in mind as well. And then again, are you able to scale? Challenges that the concessionaires face when onboarding new vendors. Quality control. And Dana spoke about this at the Carmel at the Sea. They had one product, the sample came out really great, but the live product not so much. So quality control is a concern that the concessionaires have. So put into place a quality control. Timing. You want to make sure that you can time your shipment so that it'll arrive, what we used to say, just in time, so that there are no gaps in your product being displayed in the store or at the restaurant if you're providing menu items. Compliance, again, the certifications, keep your insurance up to date. Scalability. Airports have limited, so let me talk about scalability. The concessionaires really are concerned that the vendor may not be able to scale. So that is going to be a question and a challenge that they're going to ask you. Can you scale? And are you ready to go with us? Airport is a different dynamic than operating on the street. Your numbers are going to take off. They should 3, 4, 5-fold. My CPK at LAX Terminal 1 was #1 in the entire CPK chain in the entire world, just because of our volume. Airport concessionaires have limited storage space, so you've got to think about that and how often should you deliver, how bulky is your product, and so they have limited space. So what the concessionaire's value is dependability and readiness. Okay, get and stay airport ready. Get airport ready. So get your documentation in order, what we've talked about. If you're going to go for the certification, get your certification started. Make sure you have all your checks and balances in order, your safety certifications if necessary. If you would be one of those vendors that would come onto the airport and need to get badging, that can be 30, 60 days. And you want to make sure that you have the capacity to be able to fulfill the airport orders. They are, if you're really successful, you're going to have a big volume. Maintain professional consistency, communicate, make sure that you're communicating with your concessionaire. If you're having an issue, don't hide it, communicate, and they may be able to help you. Make sure your quality is there, make sure that you're doing quality checks and that you're reliable. You want to position yourself as a solution provider, not just a vendor. So when you take your meetings with the airports or the concessionaires, listen to what they're saying and see if there might be a solution that you can provide. Dana demonstrated that in that she met with the buyer, she showed the toys, and the buyer said, well, I think I want to enhance what we're offering, but I don't want to add 2 more vendors. And Dana said, let me think about it. And she came back with a wonderful, the banners and then also the key charms. So just by listening and solving a problem, she has already enhanced her offering, which I think is an amazing thing. Build relationships. Partnerships drive opportunity. So you want to make sure that you're talking to your concessionaires, you're talking to the restaurateurs, what it is that they need, how can you do better, show up at events, create a partnership. Don't just be the vendor, the supplier, but create a partnership, because you never know, they may say, hey, let me think about Bob over here. Maybe he can do this new thing that we want to see and to add to our menu or to our store. Next steps. These are ways to align with airport concessionaires. Learn how to serve airport concessionaires' profitability and sustainability. At the end of the day, we are all in business to make money. So learn how to serve, and I would highlight that word, to serve airport concessionaires, and do it in a way that you're sharing profitability with them. So your partnership is in you're making money and the concessionaire is making money as well. Be proactive in learning the procurement process. We discussed earlier about how the airport uses a procurement. They go through ramp, and then the stores, the concessionaires, use a buy cycle. Study pricing and compliance structures. You don't want to be the outlier to be the super high priced item. You kind of want to hit mid-range if at all possible, unless your product has something that's super, super spectacular and special that makes it stand out to where it can garner a higher price point. Network, network, network. You can do sampling, pop-ups, volunteer, sponsoring, get your product in front of people. It is an investment for you to have giveaways. So that's part of being able to scale. You want to have a product that you can get in front of people. And then stay ready for opportunities. So be ready, always be prepared to share what your product is and how it can serve or how it can help a concessionaire or a restaurateur. And then connect with PACE always. PACE has wonderful programs and are ready, willing, and able to assist you. So they are a wealth of knowledge and resources that's available to you. So our key takeaway today is becoming a successful airport vendor is about readiness, reliability, and relationships. Thank you. Okay, we're ready for any Q&As. Oh, we have about 6
Alrighty.
minutes.
Oh, perfect. Perfect timing, April. Thank you so
Great.
much. Okay, let's go through Q&A quickly. We have one from Rosie. I am a logo brand specializing in tween use apparel. My design showcase Memento landmark in California, and I'm still confused as to who I would need to present my product to. I'm familiar with the Hudson Group. I don't seem to find any luck on LA Ramp or any other similar platform.
Yeah, well, I love that you have looked on the ramp. From time to time, it can come up, but I'm glad that you're on ramp. I think I met you before at a networking event, and you're doing the right things. You're showing up at the networking events. If you haven't, please do so. You've met Hudson. Probably maybe want to take a look at some of the other companies. There's Parities, there's the Marshall Group, which is now operating under W.H. Smith. So you would fall under the specialty category and be placed in one of the specialty stores. And so it's just a matter of you getting in front of the concessionaires and giving them your pitch. And if they feel like it's something that there's a need at the airport for, customers are requesting, or there's a gap there that they don't have in their inventory, then they would certainly welcome you. But I think if you can get in front of as many people as possible and then take feedback from those meetings, and if you need to refine something or do something a little different, then take that feedback and work on it. But just continue networking.
Thank you. A lot of people asking for your slide. We do recorded this session. So if any one of you want a recording session, please reach out to me. I can send the link to you, but I think,
Yes.
would you share this slide? I think this is her,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it
maybe
is.
not
Yeah.
the slide, but I know we understand that there's a lot of information that you may not be able to take it down during the presentation. But don't hesitate to just reach out to April. You want to share your contact information in the chat?
Oh, yes.
Everyone has her email address. Everyone has my email address. We want to make this as personalized for you, because it's not just one size fit all where you want to start this contract and procurement related. Someone asked for the link to the RAM LA. RAM LA is a good platform. It's an online platform that it shows all the open bid opportunity. When you find any bidding opportunity that is still available, when you see the purchase agreement, the solicitation, the requirement, there's a lot of process into this this paperwork. So that's what we will hear as well to help you. I was just actually talking to someone last week about one of the bid. And in my opinion, I would share, this may not be the right bid opportunity, but there's all kinds of bid opportunity. And during the bidding process, it's another stepping stone that we probably,
Yeah.
April and I will probably gonna do work on the next session after this series ended. Because this is the beginning, the fundamental. Dana, thank you so much, Dana. She shared her journey already. It take months, just to get going
you.
from one spot to another. It takes months, and I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and I know that each journey is not just I met with someone, I have my product is awesome, bam, I get something. There's so many things, and amazingly, there's a lot of resources, too many resources actually. But we all are here. Dana shares just her personal business journey, entrepreneurial from the beginning, her passion and how she landed it. April is a great resources. She worked with so many vendors, so many small businesses
Thank you.
locally. We try to get all this fair opportunity for everybody. In my heart, I think it's such a long journey, but it is worth the
Yeah.
effort every step of the way.
Yes.
I don't see any other question, but everyone just want a slide. I would share the recording.
Yes.
Definitely
Yes.
listen to the just watch it again. Take some slide, but the best way is just to don't hesitate to reach out to April.
Yes, absolutely. I'm
She
available.
yes,
Yes, I'm happy to answer questions, and
absolutely.
so yeah, so I'm
Actually, there's
available.
one question here. Is it harder to sell alcohol like wine? Are there different requirements?
It's interesting you ask that question because I have in our store that I mentioned in San Francisco, the grab and go. I'm like, can we have wine at least? Yeah, can we have wine? Because bars do very well, right? At airports, they do very well. It is definitely, you have to get the liquor license. I have a liquor license. You have to get the liquor license. And then I know at LAX, we're trying to get something called an arena license so that people can walk around with it, but we haven't gotten it yet. But so you have to continue, enjoy your beverage inside the seated space. So is it harder to sell alcohol like wine? So in that case, if you would want to become a vendor to a restaurant, be nice if we could have it in the stores too, but to a restaurant. So it could be challenging, but it is doable. It is doable. So I think it's research and just getting in front of those restaurateurs and telling them about your product and why it's so special and why it's needed at the airport.
Thank you. Let me ask, what upcoming networking
Ah,
event you would
yeah.
recommend?
Giving me an opportunity to talk about AMAC too. But then I know, Soprano, you have some too. I'll
Yeah,
just,
well,
yeah,
I'll
go
let
ahead.
there's many
Yeah,
any event that I think that you just have to take your opportunity to go out and meet someone. April and I meet through the networking, one of the workshop, and then we
Yeah.
keep connect, we keep stay in touch, and we learn from each other from there. It's been a couple of years, so I think
yes,
that yeah, you can share the upcoming from the AMAX as well.
yes. Yeah, there's upcoming events coming. And then I think, Soprani, there's, was it, getting ready for the Olympics?
Oh yeah, get in the game.
Yeah,
Actually,
get in the
let me
game.
share that one. Is the open platform for everybody? Let me see. It's going to be a very big event, but open to public. It's called Sport and Entertainment webinar. I mean, not webinar, event. Okay, where is the website?
And then
I
while
can share
she's
the website too.
Yeah, you can share it before yeah, absolutely. And then for AMAC, Keisha, I see you. For AMAC, there's an upcoming event. You can jump for free. Come to the AMAC community meetings the last Thursday of every month, where you'll have an opportunity to hear from people that are doing business on the airport, whether they are AEC, which is architect, engineer, and consultant, contracting, or retailers or restaurateurs, and sometimes folks in aviation. We get updates about what's going on in the industry. So you're welcome to join AMAC for free for our community meetings. And then, of course, we'd love to have you become a member. Now is the time to really think about that, as there is a change in the environment politically. So you want to make sure that you're engaged. Let's see what else. So, and also we have an event coming up. We just had Top Golf, which was a lot of fun with AMAC. And then that was a great networking event. And then there's on November 13th, I believe is the date, we will have another networking event at the Proud Bird.
Awesome. Awesome. I shared the link to the Sport and Entertainment Procurement Summit. It's every year hosted by a lot of collaboration between all of our partners, the mayor office. So we want to open up that information as well. It's going to be a huge event, a lot of information available. Vendor going to be there, prime contractor, and a lot of procurement team will be there as well. So I hope you register, enjoyed that. Let's see, any other question? Okay,
I see
I don't see any other
Robin.
question. We're just right on time.
I do see Robin was asking, is there invites for the AMAC monthly? Yeah, you'll have to get on the mailing list. So we can get that link to you, Robin.
Okay. All right, just to respect everyone time. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been amazing. Thank you for all the questions and your participation. Thank you, Dana. Thank you for our guests.
Yes, thank you, Dana.
Thank you,
Great
Dana.
job.
I appreciate
We
you
will meet
inviting me.
again in 2 weeks. And maybe Dana can join us again because there will be some updates that we want to share with you in the next 2 sessions as well.
That'd be great.
Hopefully by the end of the session, one of us here can actually move to the next step and ready to just get on the concession listing.
Yes, that'd be great. We want to see that.
We want to see that. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any additional question.
Thank you very much for having me. I
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you, everyone.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you,
Thank you.
April.
Thank you, Soprani. Thank you. Bye-bye.